If you saw my last video, and I'm not sure if you did, I think my mom was the only one who watched it, you would remember this function that we wrote, this Azure function we wrote, which was simply calling the Azure function and then getting a response that said, hey, you did, which isn't very exciting. So we're going to jazz it up a lot. We're going to add the pandas package to this, and that will allow us to manipulate Excel files. And the reason that's going to be awesome is because if you have an Azure function that can manipulate Excel files, then you can write your front end in any language you want. You can write it in C# or React or Java. Java. You could. Oh, that would be sad. But anyway, what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter what language you want to use. You can send all your Excel work to this function, let Python handle it, and it'll send you the answer back. So this is still going to be kind of simple. This is going to be a function where we send in an Excel file, not a comma separated value or anything, a real Excel file, and it's going to tell us how many records are in it. So let's see how that's done. Because we're posting a file, we need to change this a little bit. We need to say that the methods are, well, we're only going to have one, but it's post. I'm not sure if that has to be capitalized or not, but we're going to capitalize it. Now, this whole name, we're not doing this. This was just, you could add your name as a parameter, and it would say, hi, Tom. No, we're going to upload an Excel file. So we're going to make a variable named file content, and we're going to, from the request, we're going to get the body. And that will, believe it or not, get us the file we need. Now we're going to say df for data frame, and this is a pandas thing, and you might notice that we haven't installed that yet, so we're going to have to do that shortly. In fact, let's do that now. We'll say import pandas. And so, okay, import pandas as PD. That's how they usually do it. So now we can say PD, what we call them pandas. And this is the cool part about pandas. You want to read an Excel file, you say read Excel. And what are we going to read? Well, the file we're sending in, Python doesn't quite understand it, so we have to convert it to bytes. So we'll say bytes.io, and then the file content, the file that we uploaded. And we're going to add another optional parameter here. We're going to say the engine equals open pyxl. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but that's the package that actually reads its Excel files. So because we included that, we have to also, we don't import it, but what we do is we say from the IO package import, well, I guess we do import it, but we import it from the IO package, which is already there with Python, so we're good. Okay, bytes.io. So far, so good. Now that we have this data frame, it's just a matter of saying the record count equals data frame. That's not right. The length of the data frame. So I will show you the Excel in just a second. The Excel file has 20 records in it, so we should expect it to return 20. So how would we do that? We would say return, return our, HTTP response, because we're responding. And we're going to say the number of records is record count. And that's really it as far as coding goes. Now, one thing we have to do, because we're using pandas and we're using OpenPyXL, is that in our requirement text, we have to also include pandas in OpenPyXL. What this is going to do is when we build this application, if these packages aren't there, they're going to include it automatically, so we don't have to worry about it, which is pretty cool too. I think this is all done. Let's run it. We should see that. Oh, I guess I had these cached. So you can see that it was using the requirements Excel to make sure we had it. Okay, so we had the stuff, but now it has to install it. So here it is installing those packages. If we didn't have them in the cache, then it would have downloaded them for us, believe it or not. And it looks like we're up and running. It should, yep, it gives us the URL. Now, because this is a post, we can't just open up a web browser. That would be a GET. We have to post to that. And so to post, we're going to use every developer's favorite tool, Postman. So I'm going to open that up. This is the Postman application. If you're not familiar with it and you want to be a developer, then you really need to get familiar with it. It's the go-to application for designing and testing and documenting APIs. And APIs are very important. For example, we're going to use Postman to test the function app that we just created. And basically that's an API, right? It has an endpoint. In fact, I'm going to paste that right in here. Remember, this is what we saw when we ran our code. This is the endpoint, how we get access to the function we just wrote. Also remember that it's not a GET. We're posting because we have to send it a file. So we're going to post a file. And because it's a file, we are going to go to body, form data, and we're going to say send in a file. And it allows us to choose a file somewhere. Oh, right here, select files. Let's give it a key. And when I click send, it's going to send to this endpoint on my local machine. Hopefully tell us how many records are in that file. Remember, we're looking for the number 20. And it says 19. Now, why? We've seen that there are 20 records, so why 19? Well, the answer is that Python by default assumes the first row, the first record, if you will, is the header. So it's only saying you have a header and 19 records. There's several ways around this issue. One is that read Excel function that I showed you. We could just say headers is none, and then it would not try to read a header. But I'm not going to change the code. I'm just going to add a header to our Excel file and then get the correct count. So let me do that. Okay, I've updated the Excel spreadsheet to have a header, so now it should give us the correct answer, the correct answer would be 20 records. Let's try it out. And there we go. So I think this could be a really useful and helpful tool to have if you are asked to work with Excel files. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll make another video soon.